This is the Tech Phantom, and welcome to episode 12 of this Dark Souls Easy Mode walkthrough, where we are trying to tame this beast of a game and make it a little bit more manageable. Now, in case you're wondering, you did not miss anything from the previous episode. I just did some inventory management and I changed into the gold hem black set at the very beginning. So I just cut that part out, and you could I do have the same number of souls as before, so I assure you didn't miss anything. And I also did a little bit of a sped up run up to this point, just so that it wouldn't bore you too much. Now we are going to take on this boar, and there is an easier, slightly easier way of doing it, but it takes a rather long time. What you need to do is you need to run back to the entrance, and the boar will not go past the entrance, and then you can either poach the boar with spells, or you can attack the boar with the lightning halberd. Now, unlike the other boars that we've fought in the past, these cannot be stabbed in the you know what, so don't try it. Now we will go easy mode on this boar, and we can trap the boar right here. He won't be able to advance past this area, and then we can just very easily take a couple of hacks at it and put that boar down. Alright, so I did want to say a couple of things. This is an area where this is probably the most important area for our build, and that's because this area has a couple of particular one boss and an NPC that are going to provide us with the final items and the final spells that we need for our build. So I'm going to go through this area very, very slowly, very, very deliberately. So it's actually going to take me 2 videos to go through the Duke's archives. So I hope you guys don't mind that I'm going to go through very, very deliberately. Now, I said in previous episodes that the enemies in this area are resistant to magic, and they are indeed, but we are so powerful, our intelligence is so high, that even with their high magic resist, you could see that we can still take them out with spells. But nonetheless, it's very important, and it's very good that we have the complementary Gargoyle's Halberd, a lightning version of it, because that will give us a huge amount of damage, lightning damage, and physical damage as well, that we can use in conjunction with our magical damage. Alright, you saw me kill that large blue golem, and he dropped the broken pendant, and for a second there I thought about going to the area where we saved Dusk, and now that you have the broken pendant, there will be a portal and you will be transported to the downloadable content. But I've decided prudently not to do the downloadable content at this point, but instead wait until we have the final weapons and the final advanced spells that we can get in this area. And after that, I think we'll start to venture into the downloadable content. All right, so the enemies, those crystallized dredgelings, those crystallized hollow enemies, they do a ton of damage, and you have to be careful when they are buffed by the sorcerer. In some cases, they can kill you in one hit if they happen to catch you in a rolling animation or something like that, where they can score sort of additional damage. So you have to be very, very careful. So that's another reason why I want to go through this area very slowly, very methodically. Now there is going to be another enemy coming up. He is a crystallized general, and I have 1 soul spear left, and he has a crystal shield that has incredibly high magic defense. So what I did there is I baited an attack. I waited until he did his overhead attack with that crystallized sword, and then I just shot him with Soul Spear, and you saw that Soul Spear did an amazing amount of damage on it. I think it was 950 or 960 or something like that. And then we find this this lizard that is going to give us Twinkling Titanite. So thank you very much. And now we go into an area of the game where it doesn't make, to me, it doesn't make sense, but the developers put in this area where it's a guaranteed death. In order for you to progress through the game, you basically have to die. Now I put on the rare ring of sacrifice. I also took off all my clothes just so that I could die quicker, since this is it's something that you cannot avoid. So I put on the rare ring of revival, and that will allow me to keep my souls when I die. But more importantly, if I would have been cursed by Seeth's cursed attack, and by the way, that was the dragon Seeth and scaleless Seeth, and he is the boss of this area, and we will have another opportunity to take on him, and we will do that in the next video. But anyway, I was talking about the rare ring of sacrifice. What's nice about the rare ring of sacrifice, as opposed to just the ring of sacrifice, is that the rare ring of sacrifice will allow you to revive even if you're cursed, and it will break that curse. So when you revive, not only will you have your souls and your humanity, but if you were cursed as you died, the curse effect will be removed as well. All right, so there is an enemy out there, and we're trying to open the door. The door is locked, so that enemy actually holds that key. So you do need to kill that enemy. And if we investigate our cell a little bit, we notice that there are 3 hollows here. And we can take them out with magic, or we can use the lightning gargoyles halberd. And you could see that one two-handed attack does the job on these guys. And the gargoyles halberd has a pretty decent amount of range, definitely more range than these guys have. So it's going to be an excellent alternative to take them out because it only requires one swing. Alright, so there is a door out here, but it's locked, so we are going to need to find a key in order to be able to go through there. As we walk out of the cell, we trigger a cutscene. And in this cutscene, we see a couple of man serpents, or one man serpent, push a lever, and the lever starts some just god-awful, horrendous music playing in the background. And apparently, those enemies, which are called Pisakas, are trained to attack and to come out when they hear the music. So we'll have to deal with them. Now, these man serpents, as soon as you come out of the cell, they will immediately start running up the ladder. And we don't want to, and they'll wait for you, and they'll ambush you up on the top of the ladder. So we don't want to deal with them, so we were able to take them out very quickly. Now, if you have a light set that doesn't make a lot of noise, or if you start heading away from the serpents when you come out of your cell, if you head the other way and you have a light armor set that doesn't make noise, the serpents will not be averted, and the serpents will not come out. However, if you have a heavy set, or a set that makes noise as you walk, or if you start walking towards them, the serpents will, I don't want to say they'll aggro, but they'll immediately be alerted, and they will start to run up the stairs or the ladder, and they will try to ambush you. Alright, so we are looking for a key, and we are going to check the cell, and we found an enemy there but no key, so let's look at the next cell. And here's another cell, but this one is locked, can't get in, so let's look for another cell. And here's a third cell, and we are able to go into this one, and it looks like there is at least one enemy in there. So we're just gonna take our time, wait for him to come out. Again, guys, this is easy mode, so we're going through this very deliberately, very cautiously and carefully, because it's actually faster to do that and not die, as opposed to trying to rush through and dying a bunch of times. Not only will you lose your souls that way and humanity, but you will also lose time as well, and you will lose your patience. Alright, so we were able to drop down from that cell above, and we came over. We found this other cell with the key. So now we should be able to go back up to the cell where the bonfire was, and we'll be able to check out the door in the back of the bonfire cell. Now this bonfire is a special bonfire. You cannot warp out of it. You can warp into it from other areas, but you cannot warp out of it. So we have to basically walk out of here and find another bonfire that's not cut off from the others in order to warp. All right, so we opened that cell door, and here is a nice soul item. And if we keep walking, we see that we can drop one more time onto a little brick walkway, and we're on top of the terrace where the man serpent turned on the that megaphone looking thing and started the music playing. Alright, so it turns out that there are 3 enemies here, so we have to be careful. There are 2 man serpents, and then there's also a serpent mage that's firing lightning magic attacks at us. So I'm going to use that column to shield me from the attacks while I take out the man serpent. And I'm also going to make sure that my vitality is at 100% because this is easy mode, and why not? I have plenty of Estus flasks, and I don't have a ton of vitality, so I want to make sure that I'm able to take a couple of hits. And if you look down from this area, you can barely make out the hat, a large hat. So we will go down and we will find out what's going on over there. But first, we're going to stop this infernal music. Thank goodness that stopped. Alright, so we come down the ladder, and we see that the Pisakas are running in back to their cells. So they've been trained, and when the music stops, they go back to their cells. When the music is playing, they come out and they attack. So not only are the Pisakas trained, but the man serpents are also trained, or that's the orders they've been given from Seath to let the Pisakas come out and get whoever's coming out here. Alright, now I'm using Great Soul Arrow, and you notice that I'm almost taking the enemies out in one shot, but it looks like I need 2 shots. And if I would have worn the bellowing Dragon Crest ring, I probably would have been able to take those enemies out in 1 hit. But I rather have the poise that the Wolf Ring gives me. And as you saw during this video, I've taken a few hits and I haven't been stunned, and that's because of the Wolf Ring. So I've made the purpose decision to not have a little bit stronger magic, but instead to have poise resistance. And that's because I like poise and I don't like to get stunned. Alright, so we have talked to Logan. That was Logan, and he's strapped, so we need to free him because he is going to give us access to some advanced spells. So I'm just going to do a very, very quick run back up to the ladder. There's no reason for you guys to see these at normal speed because it's just a boring run back to the ladder. And we're going to go up the ladder, and then we come to this door, and now we have the key to open this door, and now we're also back to normal speed. And there's an item there that you can barely see, so let's try to get it. Now the trick here is not to aim for the first set of wooden planks, but to aim for the second, to aim for the one that's slightly to the left. If you aim for the first set, you will bounce off and you will die. You can't land on there. You have to aim for the second. Alright, and we are back at the bonfire. So we are going to refresh all of our spells, and then we're going to run out. Now, if you notice, I ran out, but instead of heading towards the serpents, I headed immediately away from the serpents, and they were not alerted. They didn't come out after me. And again, that's because I headed away from them and because I don't have a heavy set that makes noise. So that's one way to keep the serpents from coming up and trying to ambush you on the stairs. Alright, So there's going to be a bunch of these crystallized enemies, and as you can see, they do quite a bit of damage. So I'm just going to use Homing Soul Mass to take them out. Oh, there's another one. So again, Homing Soul Mass or the Lightning Gargoyle's Halbert. Easy mode, guys. So far, this has been very easy. Not a lot of stress, not a lot of difficulty. And we come out here and we see a six-eyed channeler, and he does his dance to buff the enemies, but we were able to take him out with Homing Soul Mass and with the Gargoyle's Halberd. Alright, so the trick in this area is that there are a couple of staircases that are synchronized, and they're joined together. So the staircases are movable, and they'll allow you to go from one area to another area, from one side of the room to the other side of the room. What makes this a little bit tricky is that the stairs are synchronized, meaning that if you turn one set of stairs, you will also turn the other set of stairs at the same time. So you kind of have to think about what you want to do. So we're going to turn this set of stairs, and then we're going to go up. Again, what we want to do here is we want to go to the other side. We're looking for a bonfire, but we want to get to the other room and to the other side. So we've gotten to the other room, and there's a drop here. And now we're going to turn this set of stairs. Now this set of stairs, that lit doorway, that was where we came from. Where we want to go is on the side opposite it. But in order to get to that side, we had to turn both staircases and we had to go up a floor. So hopefully that clears things up as far as how to get out of the prison in the Duke's archives. All right, so we're gonna pull this lever after sliding out down the doors, and we took an arrow to the neck. I guess kind of like in Skyrim. Um, I used to be a warrior until I took an arrow to the neck. Is what this sorcerer is saying. That's why she became a sorcerer, not a warrior. All right, and we're just doing a little bit of looting here. And in this chest, we are going to find the key that will allow us to free Logan. And there's another item here, and this is a crystal ember that can be given to the giant blacksmith to make crystal weapons. And we notice that that last chest is that of a mimic because the chain is crooked. So we're going to aggro him and step back and very easily take him out with Soul Spear and with Homing Soul Mass. And he drops the Enchanted Falchion, which is an excellent weapon for magic builds, but at this point we have a much better weapon than the Enchanted Falchion. I think that's how you pronounce it. And in addition to that, in the next video or so, we're going to be getting one of the best swords in the game and the best sword for magic builds. So the Enchanted Falchion is not really going to come into play. All right, so this time when I came, I went back to the bonfire with Homeward Bone, and this time when I headed straight to the serpents, they came towards me, and I just simply backstabbed them. So we're heading back to heal or to free Logan, but before I do that, I'm going to take out these enemies. And the reason I want to do that is because if I don't, the doors are open, they'll come out and they can chase you, and they tend to show up at the most inopportune moment. Like right there, you saw that I didn't even notice that that enemy was there, And out of nowhere, he started attacking me. And again, thanks to the wolf ring, I was not stunned. So he hit me once, but I was able to continue, and I was able to attack him as well, and I was able to kill him. Whereas without the wolf ring, I could have been stunned, and he could have done a follow-up attack, and I would have been in trouble. All right, so we're back at the cell that's being guarded by all these enemies. And this time I'm going to use Power Within, and that should give me enough of a boost that Great Soul Arrow will take these guys out in one hit. Now I have enough Soul Arrows, Great Soul Arrows, that I don't have to do this, but I'm just doing this to speed up a little bit. There's absolutely no peril or no danger here. We can lock onto them from very, very far away. So I have Power Within, so I might as well use it in this occasion. Now these enemies will drop humanity, as you could see here. And here's the cell. And now we are going to go pick up this item, which happens to be a Firekeeper Soul, so that's very much appreciated. That will allow us to take our Estus Flask up to a +3. And now we talk to Logan. And Logan promises to pay us back for saving him again. Alright, so we can walk back to the bonfire, but it's faster to just use a Homeward Bone. And now we want to completely walk out of this bonfire, and we want to find the next bonfire. So we are going to do that. Now I was thinking about speeding up this walk, but this walk is a little bit different from the previous one. So I'm going to leave it at normal speed. And again, I'm being very deliberate. I'm not running through. I'm just taking my time. Casting Homing Soul Mass, and as soon as I get close to these enemies, I take them out. Or if you prefer, you can also take them out with the Gargoyle's Halberd. Alright, so we're going to try a strategy of Homing Soul Mass and Gargoyle's Halberd on this channeler. But this time he teleports before we can get to him, but that's okay. Alright, so this time we're going to go down this way. And off in the distance you saw a sort of an open area with light shining upon it, a little balcony. In that balcony is the bonfire. So that's where we want to go. And we just want to make sure that we don't get hit with Soul Spear, because we're being fired upon by a bunch of sorcerers, or a bunch of six-eyed channelers. And we just drop all the way to the bottom, and we are going to head straight for that balcony, and there is the bonfire. Alright, so we're going to light this bonfire. And now we are safe, and we can warp from this bonfire anywhere we want. And now let's go find Logan and see what he has to offer to us. So Logan happens to be in this little room here. And there he is, Heart Ed Study, making spells for us, powerful spells for us. And we're gonna buy every single one of his spells, guys. So in the next video we will get enough souls that we can buy all of his stuff, and we will actually terminate or finish. We'll culminate the plot line for Logan, who has been a good mentor so far. Alright, so we've bought as many spells as we could, and we don't have any. I guess we do have some itemized soul items, but we're going to need a lot more. So in the next video we are going to take on the boss of this area, and we are also going to come back and we're going to buy all of the spells from Logan, and finish outfitting our build. And then the last thing I'm going to do in this video, again, because this is easy mode, we're going to kindle this bonfire so we can have our 20 Estus flasks again. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for part 1 of the Duke's Archives. And the next video will sort of finish this area. This is the Tech Phantom signing off.